Hey, welcome everybody. This is the third video to my series of building a shoe rack. This will be the final video. Unfortunately, this video does not come to the very end showing the completion of the shoe rack. I have lost the footage to those, but it does go to the very end of building the bottom shelf. The rest of the shelf are repeating of the first shelf procedure anyway, so therefore you're not missing anything. Here I am using the front edge of the front leg. The reason why I'm using the front edge is because I want the shelf to be flush with the front shelf. So therefore, what I'm measuring is the distance from the very front to where the mortise starts, and then I also using the front to measure where the mortise ends. Therefore, on the shelf itself, I can basically cut off the part that where the front of the leg is, and then to the back of the leg, and then trim off the excess that that's behind the back of the leg. So, speeding up the video of what I'm doing, basically I am measuring and planning out the rest of the 6 boards that I'm doing. For the very bottom board, because I have molding around my house, I wanted to cut out the exact profile of the molding, so therefore that the shoe rack can sit flush against the wall. So what I'm doing here is basically cutting that little bit of excess to where the molding is. After I cut it, I basically use my my scroll saw. Please don't judge me. I'm using a Wrench scroll saw. Of all the tools I have in the house, that's probably the least used. So therefore, I didn't feel like going out and buying something expensive, such as the DeWalt version of it. But I bought this thing when it was like on Black Friday, and I bought it for $60. And for what it does, it's well worth the $60 price tag. I don't expect this thing to perform amazingly, so therefore the thing had not disappointed me so far. As you can see right here, I have a very long board, and later on another aha eureka light bulb moment came on and say, why don't I put a support on the other side so it's not making such a issue for me. So give it a minute, that light bulb will turn on for me. But what I'm doing here is basically trimming out what I just measured out for the legs, and then now, as you can see, the mortise of that is formed. Now back at the leg, the thickness of the board was just slightly thicker than what my drill bit, what I measure out as a drill bit, because what I did was 3 of the boards were slightly thicker, I think by 1/32 of an inch. I didn't go through the same amount of passes on the surface planer when I did it. Why did I do that? I'm not quite sure. I just didn't. So now I'm just gently tapping the leg onto the mortise. As you can see, there is on the bottom there is a cutout for the profile of my molding. So that was the reason why I had to trim the bottom shelf a little bit off. And right now I am also using my marking guide. It's also a knife as well, to shear off a little bit of the tenon, and so that when I do chisel out or use my chisel to peel off 1/32 of the tenon, so that the the light can fit on, I would have a perfect flush sky to cut up to, so I'm not overcutting or anything else. I'm being super careful here because I don't want to accidentally cut too much, and the mortise will be super loose. And luckily I took off just the right amount, and the fitting was tight enough where I did not have to use any glue. Right now it's sitting right next to my front door without any glue on it, and I'm assuming that probably during the winter time this will shrink a little bit and this will become loose, and then at that time I can easily take it back out without hammering it and add glue and then reassemble. But for now it's tight enough where I don't really want to risk damaging it, so that's the reason why no glue was added. So this is how the first shelf is, and for the rest of the shelf it's just more repeating of what I just did here. Just 6 shelves in total, and I'm very happy with the end result of this. Everything is using pallet wood, and the hole was filled in with epoxy, but everything came out looking very nice. So have a good woodworking. See you guys.